Hope you're all doing well. So today's video is a wrap up of books that were chosen by friends for me to read. So if you have not seen that video, I will leave a link to it in the description down below so you can check it out. But basically, I'm going to be reviewing the two books that my lovely YouTube friends chose for me. There's Lynnette, Angela and Nicke. I will leave links to all their channels in the description down below so you can check them out as well because they are all lovely. So the first one that actually had 2 votes was Dear Amy by Helen Callahan. It says, a local schoolgirl has been missing for weeks when Margot Lewis, agony aunt of the Dear Amy advice column, receives a letter. Dear Amy, I've been kidnapped by a strange man. I don't know where I am. Please help me, Beth and Avery. This must be a hoax because Beth and Avery is another young girl who went missing 20 years ago. As more letters arrive, Margot becomes consumed by finding the sender and, unlike the police, convinced that the girls' disappearances are connected. Solving this puzzle could save someone's life, but it could also cost Margot her own. So that was the first one. And the second one was Little Red Riding Hood by Sarah Blakey Cartwright and David Leslie Johnson. And it says, the blacksmith would marry her, the woodcutter would run away with her, the werewolf would turn her into one of his own. Valerie's sister was beautiful, kind and sweet. Now she is dead. Henry, the handsome son of the blacksmith, tries to console Valerie, but her wild heart beats fast for another, the outcast woodcutter Peter, who offers Valerie another life far from home. After her sister's violent death, Valerie's world begins to spiral out of control. For generations, the wolf has been kept at bay with a monthly sacrifice, but now no one is safe. When an expert wolf hunter arrives, the villagers learn that the creature lives among them. It could be anyone in town. It soon becomes clear that Valerie is the only one who can hear the voice of the creature. The wolf says she must surrender herself before the blood moon wanes, or everyone she loves will die. So yeah, these are the 2 books I had. This one, I believe, is a film with Amanda Seyfried in it. I haven't seen it. I do intend to give it a watch as I've read the book. But yeah, this review is going to have spoilers. So if you don't want to know what the spoilers are, I would click off now. But know that this one I didn't finish, I had to DNF, and this one I devoured in 4 hours. So, yeah. Right, spoiler roonies. So, this one I found an incredibly hard read. A lot of it was kind of focused on Margot and kind of what was going on with her and her divorce, and then you kind of got snippets of Katie, the missing girl, and nothing just seemed to make any sense at all. I was so confused through, I think I got to about chapter 13 or 14, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. I was so confused. And my lovely friend Nicke, she said, if you're not enjoying it, just DNF it because there's no point. And I thought, you know what, even though it's been suggested for me to read, I am not enjoying it. I don't like it. I can't figure out what's going on. I haven't got a clue. So I DNF'd it, and then I actually Googled people's reviews to find out what happened at the end. And it turns out that Beth and Avery died years ago, and Margot, who has a difficult past from before, drug abuse, mental health, that kind of thing, she writes the letters to herself from Bethan because the memories of, well, the thoughts of Katie going missing kind of brought up memories and things like that. It was just a really confusing book. I didn't get it. A lot of the reviews on Goodreads, I don't think, what is going on with my hair? I don't think anyone else got it either. So yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't waste my time finishing this one. So yeah, this one is leaving. Right, Red Riding Hood. Now, as I said previously, I devoured this book. I really, really enjoyed it. I couldn't wait to find out what would happen. The one thing I really did love about this book is it has really sort of pretty chapter pages. And yeah, just it's really nicely done. Sort of really pretty pages, which I really enjoyed. But when you get to the end, it doesn't kind of finish there. It says to you that, where is it? Is this truly the end of Valerie's story? Visit redridinghoodbook.co.uk to find out more. So there is a final chapter online, which I found really, really odd. So the ending of this book is on a cliffhanger. Sorry about that, my camera died. So yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger. You spend a lot of the book thinking that Peter is the wolf. He disappeared when Valerie was younger. And mysteriously came back, and then the wolf attacks began. So yeah, she believes for quite a lot of the book that it could be Peter, but she loves him, so that's quite hard for her. And then we find out at the end that the wolf is actually her dad, who we go on throughout most of the story believing he's a drunk, and he doesn't add an awful lot to the story, I have to be honest. So yeah, you go on finding it's his dad, and then basically Peter comes to save her because her dad wants to turn her into a wolf as well. And then they have a tumble. He manages to kill her dad, and then he gets bitten in the process. So that is how the book ends, and Peter goes to try and leave. Then obviously you read the chapter online, and they kind of go off together. And yeah, it was a really odd ending. I liked it, I really enjoyed the book, and I was totally okay with the fact that her dad was the wolf. I was okay with that, but I really didn't like the fact that Peter then ended up getting bitten at the end of it. I kind of thought, you know, she spent the entire book not being able to be with this person, and then something else happens and she still kind of can't really be with this person. So yeah, I found that quite difficult. Part of me was hoping she'd either, you know, she'd leave Peter because he's going to end up being a wolf, and that would be too difficult when the full moon comes out. And then I thought, oh, maybe she'll get with Henry instead, because that would be quite nice. Henry was the blacksmith that looked after her and was really kind to her. But yeah, it didn't really go the way I expected it to, and that's fine, but this one won't be staying in my collection. So I appreciate the ladies choosing these lovely books for me, because it meant that I got the chance to read them and then declutter them from my shelves. So as I said, yeah, I won't be keeping this one, but it was a really good read, and I recommend it enough for the storyline. I just don't recommend it for the ending. So yeah, give it a read, see what you think. But yeah, both of these books will be leaving my collection, so thank you to the lovely ladies that recommended them. Well, not recommended them, but chose them out of a selection of books for me to read. Yeah, I had fun. I did have fun. I read Little Red Riding Hood in about 4 or 5 hours, but Dear Amy took me like 2-3 days to read 150 pages and then decide it just wasn't for me. So yeah, I really enjoyed them. If you read them and you had different thoughts, let me know what your thoughts were, especially with Red Riding Hood. If you thought the ending was actually really good, let me know why you thought that. And with Dear Amy, you know, I had a few people comment on my last video when it was chosen saying that it was a really good read and they found it really gripping. It just wasn't for me. But yeah, each to their own. Everyone's allowed their own opinions, and everyone's allowed to like books and not like books. So yeah, that's everything for me today. Take care, and I'll see you guys in my next bookish video. Bye!